Okay, how do we share the link now that we're live?
Hmm.
Is it just the link at the top? I mean, I don't even...
Oh, maybe.
There's a link right in the middle. It's like right. It's really weird. It's like right in the middle of the page. Only you should be able to see it, Annabelle. It's like kind of in the middle. It says like links. I don't know how to describe it. I can't see it either right now. So
Um, I see options, but cancel...
I wonder if I can take them over here. Chat, showcase, Q&A.
Let me try the link at the top just in case. Alan, could you pop open your... Oh, you have your laptop open. I'm going to message it to Alan and see if he can see us. That's a quick test.
Yeah.
Alan's got his laptop.
I sent it to my wife too, but she's not online right now.
Okay, well, Alan's on right now. I literally see him on the couch with his laptop in his lap. So
I'm
if you'll
sure he
let me
wasn't.
know if that works.
Sure he wasn't doing anything important, right?
Do you see us chatting, Alan? A second, I'm going to yell at him. Oh, shoot, he's joining the actual video call. That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah, the one you
Huh.
sent is not working. The link that you have for some reason you click go live, right?
Actually, hold up. Let me try
I,
this. I
I
did
have
get a link for something.
Yeah, you can eject. I'll eject you. Sorry, Alan.
This
No, no,
one.
no, I sent you the wrong link. It's my bad.
I
Try
have
that
the
link.
Let me stop the... Should I stop the broadcast while we figure this out?
Sorry,
Or...
Alan. Oh, no.
I don't
Oh,
think it's
no, let me send
broadcasting
him that.
yet.
Let me send him that. Alan, I'm going to send you another link.
Yeah, try that. I think that's the live link, like for the public. When I clicked it, it showed it as like a YouTube video.
Oh, perfect. That's what we need.
But it's telling me the live broadcast will begin shortly. It hasn't started on my screen.
Oh, for me, it says we're broadcasting live. I see it on my options that this is already live.
Oh, okay.
So I sent Alan the new link. Any luck, Alan?
Yeah, you're broadcasting. Yeah.
Oh, but are you oh, okay, so you can see us but you're not in the chat. Can you add a comment in the chat? I think Marie found the right link because he can see us. On there should be like a chat bar on the side. Could you add a question or a comment anywhere? I think Marie got it. Go, Marie!
Yay!
Yay! Because, yeah, he wasn't invited in like he was last time, so I will be sure not to share the other one.
Uh-oh, yeah, we don't want like 50 people in the video chat. Crazy.
He's going to see if he can add a comment. I guess once... Okay, let me go hover over his shoulder and see how he can...
You are not a moderator.
Axter.
Just ask a basic question and see if it looks good.
Oh yeah, I see Ellen Amos has joined the group chat.
We're testing, Alan. Anything. Just put anything. Alan, don't
Says yes to
overcomplicate this.
everything.
He's like, what do I ask? And I'm like, ask a question like that looks cool in chat.
Like test.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
hi everybody.
Oh, I can delete questions anyway. Okay. Deleted your test. Let's see. Answer questions. Yeah. Okay, cool. Got one. Okay, it's working. Let's get this thing live. Sweet.
All
Thank
right,
you, Alan.
should we post?
Okay. So chat and Q&A are different. Are we only the ones that have access to chat?
Yeah, he could not see chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
I don't believe he could. So we'll figure out pretty quickly. People can. Okay, I'm just going to post this on all the groups, and as people come in with questions, we can see what's going on.
all right,
This
so
is totally casual.
I can post it.
Yep, we can post it.
All right, here we go, posting.
I'm gonna put them on versus cosplay, and then on Twitter.
I'll show you a posting.
Like when I first saw your stuff, Marie, I didn't realize you were a cosplayer too, so that was really cool to discover.
Oh. Oh, I should put the live link. That's a good thing to post. I should totally add the link. Okay. Uh, Alright, so that link for sure that I did was correct, right?
Yes, that's the one Alan used to ask a question. And see, I can select his, and it's up there. Cool. Let me put this in the event page.
Currently answering. Oh, that's how you like select.
Yep. So hopefully we get some cool questions. And we can just like kind of talk amongst ourselves and about our awesome plans.
How's the Deviant tier going? You think people are excited about that?
I think they are. I think I need to make at least a description of what it means, because the guys are confused as to what kind of photos to submit, how many we're going to need, that kind of thing. So once I get some more awareness about that and the puppy/kitten edition, I think people will be cool. Because I wish we could do the 3 calendars, but there's no way. I'm stretched way too thin right now.
Yeah. I know that Ben and Trey are both going to bring their dogs out to that, so we'll do both. We can do like the sexy tier and then the puppy tier.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of making them stretch goals, like have a basic postcard set, and then as we unlock stretch goals, people can either switch their postcard set or add another one, just have more options.
Right.
Because the postcards aren't difficult to do, they're just kind of time consuming to kind of divvy them all up.
Right, right.
I love that you got the screen share. That looks good for not having your video up. Yeah, if anybody's watching right now, go ahead and send us questions. I don't see any viewers, so we should be good to like talk about super secret stuff right now.
Where do you see like who is doing?
You got really quiet, Murray. Let me see what's going on.
Hello.
Okay, I got a little dial to raise your voice.
Okay.
Cool.
How can you see how many people are in it?
At the bottom, I see it's a little broadcasting symbol, and it says, "Oh, we got a viewer! Hey! If you have a question, shoot away." We're just talking about general stuff right now about the calendar recruitment. I'm looking forward to it. I actually met a ton of the guys interested in Emerald, and I felt kind of bad because a lot of the guys who have been in the calendar and are submitting were there, but they were new cosplay, so I didn't recognize any of them.
That happens
So
all the time. I'm like, they come up to me and I'm like, who are you? And then they tell me, I'm like,
you're like, we were just there. Like, I complimented one guy in his costume, and I walked away. I'm like, I like your Fallout cosplay, and I walked away. And then I found out, oh, he was in the calendar, and I'm like, I could have, because every time I saw a guy, like I saw Jarman, I saw Bill and Rob, I was like, thank you for being on the calendar, So I just wish I could do that for everybody. Like I had that psychic power.
that would be convenient. I'm terrible at names though, so.
Oh yeah, let me put this on Twitter too. You guys keep talking. I'm just gonna share this on Twitter.
Oops, that's not the button I wanted to press. Okay. So, Do we still have that viewer?
Have the what?
Do we still have the viewer? Is the viewer still here?
Yep.
Oh,
I don't know if they can post in the chat, but they can post questions if they want to. I don't see any current questions. Unless it's just loading. It could be my Chromebook. Okay, it looks like no questions are coming in, so we can just... I mean, this was just a new idea. I got so many guys stressed about submitting, I thought maybe do a live chat and see if anybody has questions on the process, like from my point of view. I think last year some guys were frustrated when their pictures didn't make it through and they didn't really understand. And I wanted to find a way to kind of humanize the process. Sometimes when people submit to projects like this, it's like this faceless email, and they send off the email into the abyss and they never hear back, or they don't know what happened. So I wanted to kind of do what I could to remedy that.
Do we have a lot of viewers, or just one still? Or?
We have a couple. We have, it's like people are checking it out and leaving as they come and go.
Okay.
So we can try for like half an hour, and if nobody has any questions, we can be like... I should totally do the live chat on Friday and watch the explosion of guys saying, "Did you get my photo?" Let's see. Oh, for people in the chat who have a question, oh, I'm silly. Maybe people don't know how to ask. There's a little icon there that says, like, I think it's like Q&A. But from Alan's computer was on the top of the video. So just click on random buttons in the video. One of them should be to ask questions. Sorry about that. I assumed the panel would pop up automatically. But if you have questions, there should be a little panel that you submit the question to, and then we can click it from our point of view.
oh, there you go.
Did we get one?
Yes, from Adam Walsh.
All right, let's select it. Thank you, Adam. For requirements, it's basically the same as last year. I can't think of anything too crazy. It's still 365. Some guys are asking about the theme. The theme is still basically everybody and everybody. And we're still allowing kids. In terms of new requirements... Oh, one new requirement is that for this current calendar, people will notice that a few guys have multiple pages. And that was because of the time crunch. Like, Marie, you had a few guys here in the calendar a few times. That was because they had great photos and we had to fill in some empty spots. But now that we have more time, we can fill in more cosplayers. So cosplayers are only allowed one photo. They can submit multiple, and then I'll let them know, you know, like, hey, you submit 3 photos, 2 of those are approvable at their quality, so they can choose one they like, and if they can't decide, then I'll just choose which one I think will look good for the calendar. So I think that's...
Oh, he's got an additional... Oh, here we go.
Okay, cool. Let me... So yeah, I hope that answers your question. That's the only major requirement change. If anything happens beyond that, I'll update the FAQ on menversuscosplay.com. Let me hit done. You said not a lot of Photoshop. I know that's kind of a finicky thing to say. So what I plan to do is show an example of what I consider a good utilization of Photoshop, and one that I feel is detrimental to the cosplayer. For me, Photoshop should enhance the photo and not be visibly, not be very visible. Like like in a movie, how you can't tell if a backdrop's really in there, or that kind of thing. Also, don't obscure the cosplayer too much. I'll see somebody submit a great cosplay of the Flash, but then they do the whole blurry effect. Now, you can do like little ripples off of them to look like you're starting to do the Flash thing, but not so much where I can't even see the cosplay in the calendar. So that's kind of like the mix I'm looking for. And I'll also post a few examples. Marie has a few good ones on her page, so I'll probably link some of those.
I could actually take one of my photos and make a quick bad Photoshop, and we can compare it to the...
Let's do it.
The final version. So let me do that real quick. Let's see. It'll take me a moment.
So why don't you
And
lock her in, Annabelle, so that it stays on her screen?
yep, I locked her in.
Okay, cool. Which is
So it
cool
should be
because
on you right now. If it switches off, then I'll go ahead and
yeah,
yeah.
right now I see you still. For some reason, I don't see her screen.
I see hers. It should be locked on her. I clicked on her, unless that's
Oh,
just the broadcast.
I don't have anything screen sharing right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I clicked on your name, so I was thinking it would freeze on you.
Let me see. Let me make this, and then
Let me see. I think I locked you in. I put you as present to everyone.
There
okay.
you go. That worked.
Did
Yep,
that
that
change?
worked.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Sam. While she shows that, I'm going to hey, Adam, we're going to finish showing your question, but I'm going to answer Kevin's really quick because I can do that right now. 1 second. Kevin, it's going to be case by case. The tentative deadline is June 15th. It depends on the influx of submissions. That's what a little bit of what I'm worried about. So I'm hoping that the recruitment process ends around mid-June, so in a way that's tapered off with submissions. For people who have been in the calendar before and people who are reliable, I might be able to offer an extension as long as they are sure their costume will be ready by mid or late June. I basically need all the photos in by mid/late June in terms of getting everything rolling with the Kickstarter and getting everything rolling with having extra production time with the printer so none of the issues that happened last year happen again. So if people need an extension or they're not sure that they'll get it in by June 15th and they're worried that submissions will close by then, I might keep like 20, 25 spaces open just as a courtesy to people who have helped the calendar in the past, as well as photographers I know who are reliable. So it really depends. I know you, so if you want to chat with me and let me know what you're thinking of, that would be awesome. Same with anybody else in the chat. If I see your work and you're finishing up a costume, like I know a guy finishing up a Fallout Power Armor, he's almost there. So I'm willing to give him an extension to like May 1st or mid-May. It's a case-by-case basis. I'm totally accessible on Facebook or the email account if anybody has any further questions on that. I'm just kind of rambling here.
So the example I have is going to be slightly exaggerated, but just like kind of some of the stuff I see that I would consider too much, where, just 1 second.
And I get to Chinley's question after you show that.
Okay. Actually, give me like 2 more minutes. You might want to answer his question.
Okay. I'll go to you next. Okay, her question is, what is your preference when it comes to surroundings, backdrops, studio versus outdoor/indoor shots? Any tips on making an outdoor shot look more professional? I'll personally say, before I let the photographers take over, that I prefer shots that are with real-life scenery, even if you have to minorly tweak the scenery, like add some more clouds or remove clouds, that kind of thing, or add bushes or small tweaks like that. Green screens can look pretty jarring unless you know what you're doing. So if you have a really experienced photographer who knows what they're doing, and you can even show me some examples beforehand just in case, that's kind of where it is. But Sam and Marie can definitely cover how to make an outdoor shot look more professional with their tips and tricks.
And what's good about outdoor shots is that you can choose something that's accurate to the character. Studio shots are really good though when you want to like create like posters or something like that. But for the calendar, I agree that more natural shots would probably be a lot. Basically, what you said earlier, it just works well for the calendar.
Yeah. Oops, I had that frozen on you the whole time by accident. That was my bad.
Oh.
You're good. Sorry. Let me switch around. Okay, it's back to me. So you have a second to check it out.
Okay, let's see if this works. Is it working?
Yep, I can see your screen share.
Okay, so what is this? Just a second. Okay, so I quickly, can you see my mouse?
Yes, I see your mouse.
So this is the final version. I'm not sure what's happening here with the system preferences that are coming up. And what I did was I took the raw and I just kind of exaggerate a little bit what kind of stuff I see. That would be like a bit too much. Let me remove this blur here.
I can see your screen, but I can't see the photo in it. Is that, or do you
Oh,
have it up yet?
what? Okay.
Does
Oh,
that make sense?
Is it on another screen? It's only sharing one.
oh, it's only sharing. Okay. Just a second. Why wouldn't it do both? That's weird. Okay. Let me show you the real image, the done final image. So we were talking about. Can you see that?
1 second. It's still loading. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. So that is the final version I have of that photo. This is a good example, I guess, because you were mentioning like the flash earlier. And what I didn't add any motion to this because there's no movement, but I did add to the one that I quickly edited, slightly exaggerated, which I'm going to switch to. Oh, that just reversed it. Okay, hold on.
Thanks for bearing with us, people, as we figure out Hangout.
Can you see that?
1 second. It's like a little delay when it screen shares. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. And then can you see me turn this filter on and off?
Mhm.
Okay. So what I see often with some editing is that there would be super contrasted colors. And sometimes what that can do is remove like some of the main features that you want to see because it takes away from the highlights and like the detail in between, like what's like a mid-tone. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And then here, an example of like the extreme blur. You cannot see what's going on. You can tell what the cosplay is, but it's not. What's the word?
Like, I think sometimes people get like it's too stylish, because these are real people, and we want to kind of
Yeah,
appreciate them as cosplayers and not just as comic book characters.
yeah, and in my opinion, it's a little intense to like add. Like I see a lot of people, they kind of like go in and start adding, just kind of go into the filters and Photoshop and just kind of start like adding things. Let me see an example.
I mean, at the same time, if effects are used really well, like you had your Cosmic Spider-Man and he had that galaxy in his hand, that looked really cool, and it actually blended in with the colors of the image. It just wasn't like this giant lens flare out of nowhere. So
Yeah,
sometimes it can be utilized well, but like in this example, everything's kind of like out of it. I can't tell anything about what's going on with this costume right now.
I know. Alright, I'm having some issues trying to get things to load, right? Because I don't think that with the screen sharing, it's hard to see because I can only show one window at a time for some reason.
Oh, no worries. It looks like Sam's working on some stuff. Do you have anything up now, Sam, or?
Um, doesn't it figure that Adobe would do an update today and my Photoshop starts crashing?
Oh no.
But I want to kind of go back maybe a little bit to, somebody had asked a question about the outdoor, how to make it look professional when it's outdoor.
Yeah, that was Trinley. She should still be around.
Um, so I just wanted to show, to make a good outdoor shot. First of all, obviously, I think location is key. So, like the Ben's picture here, went to the warehouse district and found some good backdrops. This is like next to a parking garage for this one.
Sorry.
Um, and then this one is again, this is actually the warehouse district again, where there's just a little tiny bit of Photoshop to make him look like he's in a war zone.
I love that.
Um, yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. And like this one here, so this one, I'm actually using a beauty dish here and another light. So don't be afraid to take lights out with you when you're going on location. A lot of times what will happen is you'll tend to blow out the sky. It was kind of a cloudy day this day, but you can see here at the bottom, there's actually some lights back there, so it was starting to get dark. So I just used a beauty dish on her to to light her up and make sure I don't turn the ISO up too high. So as soon as Photoshop gets reinstalled because it was start crashing on me, then I can go over some stuff about like DPI versus resolution, because I know that's what a lot of people had questions on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm reinstalling Photoshop now because it was just crashing over and over. So,
And I mean, you can use outdoor locations for. I mean, when you did the college photo shoot at ASU, it didn't look like we were at ASU. It looked like we're at this awesome, like, little either sci-fi setting, or I mean, you
oh
can
yeah,
get creative just with the implication of what's around you. Even when I say no convention photos, I mean like no convention hall photos. Some people will use like the gardens outside the convention. Yeah, that's one of our college photos, like that awesome little art entryway with all the lights on it.
and this was actually at this was at the ASU, or not ASU. This was Tempe Center for the Arts. This is one of their, like, behind their building. Um, this is my uncle's shop, his workshop. Um, so this is Tempe Center for the Arts too. But
Sam is
that,
my hero. He's been teaching me a lot about lighting from Adam.
oh, nice. Thanks, Adam.
Yep. Oh, yeah, 300 DPI is correct. Depending on the case, I might be able to go lower, but hands down, I want 300 DPI. That's pretty much standard at this point for printing. I mean, I know the photos are small, but some people would think, oh, I can just use my Facebook photos, and I'm like, no. And if you're not sure and you know the photographer, they can just send me the pictures directly. The photographer will usually know what to do. I say usually because like 5% of the time, the photographer is using a point and shoot that was on the wrong setting. So sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah, and then so for DPI, one of the things I can show you is, I guess since we're here, is let me just move this over. So this is, I think it'll load. Okay, come on.
And you're in presentation mode, Sam, so it's all about you.
Okay. So this is a Facebook photo, and it looks really big. If you go to view the image info, you don't really get a lot. This should be the XF data, is usually what you get. But because it's Facebook, you don't really get a whole lot of the XF data. And if you try to save it from Facebook, once
I
you
mean,
get it to,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was going to say, once it loads, and you open it up, it's still not showing what. See, you lose all the XF data. So Facebook basically strips off all your XF data.
Even they can
And
even just look at like the image size. Like if it's like only 132 kilobytes, definitely not a print quality
yeah,
photo.
yeah. So this one's 132 kilobytes, like Anabel just said. And if we look at the properties here, this is how you can tell what the DPI is if you go to the properties right here, you can see this is only 96 DPI. So even though I saved it at a much higher, I think I saved it at 240. This is one of the issues I run into is I edit photos like here when I'm editing these photos, and I go to export it in Lightroom. Lightroom exports on my default export at 300 DPI. But if I don't like to edit JPEGs, so I like to edit the raw file. So if I go here and edit in, let me see if this is finished.
Oh, you got a compliment. Those are beautiful shots.
Oh, I saw that. Thank you.
And she knows about Marie, and she's happy to know more photographers. Oh, we know so many photographers through this project. It's really awesome. People really underestimate the power of just how much photographers know in the community, especially about other cosplayers and where to find them.
Yeah, definitely. But a lot of what I'll do is I'll do edit here, and I'll come here and I'll go to edit into Photoshop. And for some reason, when I do that, even though I have it set to export at 300 DPI here, when I edit in Photoshop, it actually opens it in Photoshop at 240 DPI. So I think this is one of them that I was doing, and I was going to show people too. So if you don't have Photoshop and you're not sure, like I said, you can right-click the file, here and go to properties, and then go to details, and you can see your DPI here. This is, both for photographers and for the cosplayers. You can also open up Paint and go into properties, and you can see here, you can't change it, but you can see here that it's at 240 DPI. This was one that I edited directly out of Lightroom, which is, oh, come on.
Yeah, and like that Riven picture you showed, Kevin Blade just said, proper use of depth of field on a shot can usually let you get away with more, location-wise, than having everything in focus, since you're hiding the background features with blur. It brings more focus to the character as well. Good point. Some people have done that in a few of the photos.
Yeah, and that's a good way to get away with. That's a good way to get away with doing event cons and stuff. Like those pictures of Ben and Trey last year. I mean, you couldn't tell they were at Comic-Con at all. Marie, could you open your Photoshop and go into?
Let me switch to her.
Yeah, let's let her be the presenter.
Present to everyone. She should be coming up now. Oh yeah, like she is. Oh my God, look at her.
Hold on. Wait, is it showing? Oh, it's showing my before and after. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We do have that. We can go back to that in a moment. Let me share my. Oops, hello. My Photoshop. Okay. So we are in Photoshop.
I just wanted to show people where you can actually see the resolution of Photoshop, because if you go to like File and Save in Photoshop, it doesn't show you the DPI. But if
let me put you up here really quick.
You can like save for web.
Well,
like
even that it doesn't quite show the DPI. If you go to Image and then Image Size, that's where it'll show your DPI. But my Photoshop is not working tonight, so I don't know why.
Okay, I'm putting it back to Marie then.
All right, can you see me going into the menu?
I see no pictures, but I see you going, like, moving. I don't see the menu.
Oh. Yeah, it's different. It's just showing.
Well, we can always take screen caps later and do a little guide. Especially, I liked what Sam showed, and I'd love to do a little guide on the website for that in time for Friday, as well as through Photoshop as well. Let me write that down for us to put that up later.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to show specifically, because you couldn't see me open the menu.
Correct.
Weird. Okay. But I do have an answer for Turnley here about recommendations on being able to capture both the cosplayer and the character. So just, let me see. So you have the picture of the cosplayer, and you have them as, whatever they're wearing, whatever costume they have. But things to bring in more to character, posing is definitely one of them. Like character poses make a bigger impact than just having them stand and just, like smiling, like basic pose. Like that helps bring out the character. Also, location-wise, like for example, if you have Spider-Man and he's in a city, you can bring out the character more based on the environment and the atmosphere of the photo. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you'll even talk to the cosplayer, and they might have a rough idea of a pose they'd like to do. And just as you get more familiar with your surroundings, like Sam on the back of his hand, if I told him right now, hey Sam, I need to shoot this cosplay as soon as we can, he would know exactly what I was looking for, what to do. So yeah, it's really case by case basis.
Yeah, a lot of it is finding the right location. I don't always know the characters. I always tell cosplayers that they're the experts. I mean, if you took the time to craft this cosplay, and you took the time to, I mean, how many hours do you spend? 40, 50, 100, 500 hours on making a single cosplay, sewing it and doing all the crafting for it. I mean, that kind of makes you the expert on that character. So, that's what I always tell cosplayers is get in don't be afraid to kind of overact. I mean, there are a lot of them are comic book characters, a lot of them are superheroes or game characters, and if you overact, that's probably just normal acting for them. You know what I mean? So uh, if you know what your character is and you know their personality, um, get into that personality when you're getting into these photo shoots, and I think that'll help capture that character a lot.
And even if people feel silly, I used to feel silly during photo shoots, but really amping up the acting and the campiness really brings out a lot more.
Yeah,
And
the
the photography,
more
good.
awkward you feel, the more crazy and silly you feel, the better and more natural it looks, for sure.
I mean, that's why it's fun to have friends with you on photo shoots. If you're just one-on-one with a photographer, it can be intimidating, and you just feel like you're like a frozen marionette. But if your friends are joking with you, and even if you need like a shot of rum or something and just get you going, once you're in the zone and really comfortable with the photographer, like that's when magic happens. And friends will egg you on to do sillier shoots, like when I was with Sam when we did the Army of Two shoot. I mean, Ben and Trey are already friends, but they had extra hands to kind of help out to do the crazier poses with. So that became a lot of fun. Like, hey, you should act like you're falling off the ladder. Like the little suggestions people would give to kind of amp it up a little bit.
Or extra hands to throw smoke balls at their feet.
Smoke bombs and water, and it's always good to have extra hands if you want to take that kind of extra measure on it. Oh, and for Adam, I'm going to answer his question quick because I've seen the photo. There was a bit too much fire, and it was obscuring Link. So I think the other photo you sent me after that did work better. So I'll just get your question off the panel really quick. Go ahead, sorry.
Let's see, what I was going to say. Uh-oh, I forgot.
Oh, no.
Okay, I will think of it in a second. What we were talking about, posing. Yeah, so if you have your shoot set up beforehand and you're the photographer, it's good from your side too to look up the posing and look up more about the character, because sometimes the cosplayer isn't always going to, it's good that they know about their character, but sometimes they're not very comfortable about posing and not really sure how to do it because they don't do it very often. So it's good if you look beforehand on what about the character, location, just different stuff, and it'll help a lot. Let's see, I actually have a note here. I just wrote some quick notes down about posing. They're more like tips on general posing, if anyone wants to hear about that.
And there's even really basic guides if people are shy, like artists and photographers have some really basic tutorials. Like if you're a lady, posing like this is more flattering. If you're a guy, try some of these poses. If your character is a ninja, there's some basics out there, but yeah, like Marie said.
And then some other things about posing. You want to, most of the time, there's always exceptions to any rule, but you want to have a 3/4 turn. Does that make sense? You don't want it straight on. It's just more flattering to be turned. And if you also have, you keep your arms away from your body, that can help bring negative space in between your arms and your body. And it just looks a little more natural than just kind of, keeping it flat against you. And then also in general, just having fun, that always helps bring out the natural emotion, unless the character's, angry or something, but that's a different story. Oh.
Let's see. Oh, another one. More dynamic poses. Let me see what I have to show for that. I even have some calendar pages open. Let me see if I can get those up in a second. Let me close Facebook.
Where did the question go?
Oh, I thought it was completed. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought another one came up.
Oh, she said fantastic and inspiring responses. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Trinley.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah, like I'll share some pictures here. Like, how do I show this? But you can kind of see just like the range of the photography. It's just, is it letting me scroll? Can you guys see me scrolling?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Like again, like when I use this photo of Jake from you, very subtle use of Photoshop here. I love it.
Thank you.
I mean, some pictures really shine for me. I guess I'll go a little bit until we get some more questions. Somebody can let me know. Just what draws me as kind of selecting the photos and trying to get through all the submissions. I really like people who use natural surroundings. Geralt today, the picture for today is a good example. I mean, he went to looks like a national park, and just a little simple pose on this rock here looking solemn. I mean, that's not him having to do a ninja pose or jump in the air. That's him really emulating the character there. That kind of stuff always takes us to the next level for me. If you're limited to, if you're not able to go a crazy distance to get your picture done in time for submission, because I know that we're cutting it kind of close. I mean, I think this one was taken at a con or a garden. I mean, this can be done pretty much close to anybody's house, depending on the area. And that just uses natural shrubbery. I mean, I thought that one was very well executed as well for not having, the Grand Canyon in the background, just using what you have around you. Same with this one. I think this one was also taken at Emerald City Comic Con, and they have the garden level that cosplayers can use on floor 2. So I thought that was a very nice touch. It looks like it could have been from Lord of the Rings. For people, let's see. Like, yeah, this looks like it could be another convention shot. But they had enough, see that, like how Kevin was saying, it was kind of out of focus. It brought enough to the point where I was paying more attention to the character than the background versus seeing attendees in the background or a con badge on him. So this is also what helped. Oh yeah, there's so many photos I love in this thing.
Yeah, really
Natural
good.
background.
I like it.
Or if you're acting like you're in the game, like I loved the Last of Us. They sent me the series of photo shoots looking like they were running around like in the game. I thought that was cute too. If you don't know what to do, you can always try to recreate a scene from your game. Again, another simple picture. This could even be like in a basement in a building somewhere, or who knows. But I mean, his character really looked really nice and dark and mysterious against this really simple wall. So that's kind of what I look for. I think that's why I like that a lot more than green screen. If you don't have, I mean, even versus green screen, even dramatic shots like this against a black backdrop, I would prefer those more as well. I mean, that's kind of my preference. And in terms of Photoshop, I mean, if you have a Ghostbusters, you kind of have to get the blast in somewhere. There's some effects you're going to have to use that stand out among just natural edits. Again, more dramatic lighting popping out a picture. So I can get more into that later. Let me get back to the Hangout, though, so you guys can talk too.
I do have 2 examples of studio shots, though, that we had brought up earlier on my screen share.
Wait.
Which it does take it to the next level to add effects to it. So if you don't have, I mean, doing effects takes some practice, but it does take it to the next level when you have like a plain background and you want to add more to it to add to the character, because when you have a black background, it doesn't really represent the character. So what I did for the top shot, can you guys see it?
The Jack one? Oh, let me switch you to presenter in a second. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, you're good.
So I had added, because when you just look at the left side, it's pretty basic. It's like, just a shot, the outfit's cool, everything's cool, but to really take it to the next level, I wanted to add effects to it. Like I had added snow because it's Jack Frost. Oh, this is Jedi Jack Frost, actually. That's a mashup. And then for Power Rangers, I added the effect for the weapon here, which is similar to what was in the show. So you can definitely like add to the photo and represent the character a little more when you add stuff like that. Yeah.
I just love your photos. I'm just gonna geek out over them for like the next 5 minutes. And there's no harm if you know how to take a good photo, but you're not so good at Photoshop. There are people out there who are willing to help you. You can check out some portfolios, and if you let them know about the project, I'm more than happy to credit photo editors as well. So if somebody wants to get involved and get a credit in the calendar, I'm more than happy to allow that, especially if you're worried about taking your photo to the next level but not having the skill set to use Photoshop to that extent.
And there's some good tutorials out there too to get you started. YouTube has a lot actually. If you type in just photo manipulation tutorial or compositing, you can sort of start there and learn a few things. I actually I'm always like looking at videos and stuff, and I'm always learning new things because everyone does everything differently. So you end up finding new things in Photoshop you've never seen before, and it's a good way to do that.
We got another question. Oh, you're okay, Trinley. Ask as many questions as you want. Honestly, that's what we're chatting for. And we'll do more chats depending on how much people need these. If you don't mind my tip questions, do you have any feedback on composition? I'll give that to the photographers.
I'm like, so if you're shooting landscape, well, it depends on a lot of stuff actually. Like I said, there's always exceptions to the rules, and I find myself being more non-traditional, so I don't always follow the rules, I guess. But there's the main rule of having, I need to find the word for it. It's like an actual term that everyone uses that I can't figure out right now.
I can Google it.
Rule of thirds?
Basic 3/3, right?
Rule of thirds, yeah.
Yeah, rule of thirds.
Rule of thirds, yeah. So that's always a good rule to follow. If you look it up, you'll probably find like a grid, which has it sectioned into 9 sections. So if you were to crop your image and you have it in Photoshop, it'll come up with that grid. And what you want to do is line it up on one of those points or on one of the lines, and it just gives it more balance. Although I have broken that rule just because if you want to add like something to the background, or if you feel that it might look better cropped differently, it just kind of depends. You have to play around with it. But that's one of the main things that you want to do if you really aren't sure. That's a good template to follow, if that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, and also it's really good to focus one of those points on the eye of the cosplayer, because then that makes it like the main focus point. You want to make the face, usually make the face the main focus point.
On positioning, I'll also add as well, when you guys take the photos, if you can leave some room around the cosplayer for us doing the calendar to kind of position the photo in terms of what's going to work best within the bar, especially with portrait photography versus landscape. Landscape photos give us more to work with versus portrait layout. So that's something to look out for too. If you do a portrait and your character's butting against the edges, that's not good for the calendar unless you need a zoomed in shot that's very dramatic. So while we're talking about composition, I'll just throw in my little nitpicky thing I noticed, and I'll actually write that down because I want to mention that when I finish the submissions page.
Yeah, it's hard to crop portrait style into that smaller area, because then you're taking away most of the photo.
Exactly. There's some in the calendar where I'm like, the cosplay is great, but it's still bugging me because it's not positioned in a way that I feel really complements the cosplay. So yeah, that does affect it. I mean, I'm not going to fully reject the photo, but I'm not going to be like as about it. I'll be like, oh, that could have been like a wee bit better if you just zoomed out a little bit and shrunk the cosplayer in so we had more to work with around him. Though those photos do look good on Facebook, so I know why they do it. I mean, the first thing is people usually take these photos for social media, And then they realize, oh, I still have the high res. I can also use it for a calendar photo. So it's just one of those things.
So, some of the really nitpicky things that I do with or see a lot of with composition is being crooked, and I do this all the time too. I'm always crooked, like I'm always for some reason, and I have to go through Lightroom and make them all straight again because I'm just I don't know why. I guess I have a crooked eye or a crooked hand or something, but all my photos end up crooked, and I have to fix them all. So that always drives me crazy, just because of my own personal, when I'm doing my own editing, I see how many of mine are crooked, and it makes me angry. So that drives me crazy if I see a crooked photo. It looks like people are sliding off the page. Um, and then when you're a lot of new photographers will also uh, tend to kind of put the head in the center. I noticed, or not even in the center, but even if they're trying to follow the rule of thirds, they'll try to almost center the person's head, and you'll end up with like 10 inches of space above the person's head. Um, and you want to keep the focus on the person and not on the sky above them typically.
Yeah,
So
I noticed that too. That's a big thing.
I'm trying to think of anything specific that people need to know. Let me go through my little FAQ list. Is there anything you guys wish you saw more of, even costume-wise?
Hmm.
I do like mashups. Those are my weakness. So if you have a mashup, I love you. I mean, anything for me that brings a character to life, that's kind of the soul of the project. That's what makes me geek out the most. People who take that extra step to really feel like the character.
and I'm telling you right now, to Anabel, I've already had like 4 people ask me if they can submit Deadpool, and I'm like, no, don't even bother.
Oh,
you had like 300 last year, right?
oh my God,
Deadpool
I can
submissions.
actually scroll through and see. Yeah, people don't judge me. I mean, we have the 312 pages. Oh, by the way, if you guys have groups, group shots are great with how I want to do the calendar for this next year. Let me see, get my screen share up. Okay, one second. Do you guys see the pictures?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me get back here. I mean, we also had a lot of Spideys. I mean, at least with all these pages, last year I was in a crunch, so I wasn't able to balance them as well. Like these Captain America guys should have been in July, and same with him. I should have shoved them all in July for the 4th. But I mean, with the calendar limit, we have the 5 weekdays, and we're allowed one page for the weekends. So in terms of submissions, I'd love to get some more group cosplays because I'd like to have, because for the weekends we have the one page limit, I'd love to have more cosplayers represented on those pages. And for people who are dying to be in the calendar more than once, that is your only way to cheat and have a second photo if you submit a single shot, and then you have a second shot with like a couple like here, or another shot with a group. That like him with Gwen. Oh my God, that shot's so sad. I hate you, Todd. See, here's another group. So shots like that, I would love more of. Oh, here, Batman and I forgot his name. Oh my God, Zod fighting. I need more of those shots, definitely. And it's also a way for the ladies to sneak in the calendar too, because I do allow couple shots as long as, like in here, the focus is Todd Spider-Man being sad about losing Gwen. So that's that's what I need. I don't want ladies to try to sneak into the calendar and have the shot be about them. I want them to compliment the guy and help them bring out their cosplay, because this is a male cosplay project. So that's my little tangent. Oh, here's another question. Do you guys have any favorite cosplays or characters to photograph and display?
For the calendar or just in general?
Is that in general, Trinley? I'm gonna put put that away to see if she says if it's in general or not.
Or we
Let me.
can,
I like video game characters, and I don't think I see enough anime, so I'd love some more of those.
Yeah,
yeah,
we need lots of
I
anime
want
characters.
more anime characters for my portfolio, but I run in the way, like, most of my friends do comic book characters, including me. So, and Power Ranger, so it's hard to find people to do that, but I would like to do more of that.
You, Sam?
I like anything in armor. So like Alan here, I love this shot of Alan, just even that headshot. Of course, Sarah. This is probably some of my favorite pictures is Sarah's. Like I was just in shock the whole time she was walking around during this photo shoot because it looked like we just had Garrus on set with us. So it's sometimes disappointing to me. Like the Predators, I don't feel like I did a good job capturing the Predators, but I love the Predator. Like Predator is one of my favorite franchises. So anything that's kind of cool and has armor is usually what I'm about for the guys. And I kind of feel like the guys get a left out. A lot of times. Here's David. Uh, because a lot of times like it's always about women and a lot of times it's the skimpily dressed women. I think this is actually Alan designed this, right, for Chad.
Yep, Alan did that armor set.
Yeah. So I just so when it comes to the guys, especially if I think what sets them a lot of times over the top is when they really put a lot of effort into their armor. And maybe not necessarily because we have Vin here who just put a lot of effort into his body, which is awesome too. Um, But yeah, I love armor. So if there's a lot of armor in it, then I'm gonna get excited about shooting it.
I like fantasy stuff, like Dragon Age and Lord of the Rings. So I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So whenever I see those submissions, I just kind of geek out. Same with video game characters that look like they're video game characters brought to life, like Rick Bauer in his Assassin's Creed. Anybody like that? Yay!
Yeah, so generally I just kind of tend to want to take more photos of comic book characters in like movies. Um, Video games would be nice, but not many people do them as much as you would think.
I mean, I'm meeting a ton more. I think that the challenge with video game costumes is that it's really hard to translate video game costumes into reality, but the way they're designing these really complex outfits now, unless you have a lot of time, a lot of money, or it can like 3D print stuff. So it really depends on, but yeah, like I can't believe how much like the Halo stuff costs to make or some of those crazy video game armor builds. I really admire the people who can pull it off.
We're me and my boyfriend we're making a Halo armor for each of us. So
Are
I'm
you doing it a foam or a kit?
doing a what?
A foam build or a kit?
I think a bit of both and other stuff. I'm not sure. He knows way more about it than I do, but I'm pretty excited.
So do you both have big cosplay plans coming up beyond like Halo and Sam, do you even cosplay anymore with your family?
Yeah, we got some plans. I've actually been doing some like commissions, but not commissions, straight commissions, but photography for commissions. So I've been doing some trades, uh, and I probably won't this year because my wife's pregnant and she'll be 8 months pregnant at Phoenix Comic Con, and so it kind of threw off all our plans because I know we were talking about San Diego and renting that boat and stuff, and all those plans kind of got thrown out the window by by her getting pregnant again. But
Congratulations on your
yeah,
last one.
yeah, the last one for sure. Thank you. But next year, we're gonna do some. We want to do. We're trying to do some family stuff. Um, we might go to Comic Con this year for a little bit, and I'm trying to decide if I want the kids to do Star Wars or if they want to do Pokemon because my youngest loves Pokemon and she runs around saying I'm Ash, Pikachu, I choose you. So, and she's 2. So I kind of want the older 2 to be like a Pikachu and a Charmander, and then have her run around as Ash, and then that she could call out commands for him, because she even knows their attacks and everything. So she'd be like, Pikachu, Thundershock, you know. So
Or
I
you
make it
could be
cute.
Ash, and they could be the 3 starters. I'm just saying.
That's true. Yeah, that's true too. So yeah, I do. I usually do like more original character stuff, because I'm too invested into photography, and I spend most of my money buying that kind of equipment to try to make a screen accurate anything, or video game accurate anything. And so if I can just get away with gluing Keurig cups on some armor, on some shoulder pads, and spray painting it all black, then that's what I'll do, because that way I don't have to spend a lot of money on it, and I don't want to get called out for, oh, your armor's not accurate. So that's kind of what I do.
People don't do that.
Yeah, right.
When I first did the calendar, I think it was the first edition. I had it at a con, and one of the Halo guys walked up, and he was just like, "Something's off with this chest plate," and he was being totally nasty about it. And I'm like, nobody notices. For people worried about their costume being inaccurate, like this was in the Men versus Cosplay panel, but Bill was saying you and like the 3 or 4 other people who cosplay your character are gonna know something's wrong. Nobody else will really care. You know, just make it for you. Who cares about if it's a variant or you have to tweak it up a bit or do what do they call it, like a modern version? Have fun with it. I mean, I don't look at costume accuracy when I'm looking at calendar photos. I look at how well the costume's executed. And I mean, even if it's like a budget costume, as long as it's put well together and I don't see it falling apart, and it's not just a really, if it's not a gross photo, if it's a photo that makes the costume look really good, I'll take anything from like a professional level cosplayer with an amazing suit to somebody starting out who just happened to execute their cosplay really well with their limited resources. So sometimes people are afraid to submit to the calendar because they're not in Mr. Award-winning cosplayer with 5,000 or above subscribers on their Facebook page. I have gone for people who don't even have Facebook pages yet. Um,
You had
if
that
they
guy
put
with,
effort
with
into it, it's very
cardboard.
noticeable. Huh?
Remember that guy with cardboard?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that
Alistair.
night. Let me
Alistair
look.
with cardboard, right?
Which one? Oh yeah, that's right, Kevin Blay. Let's see if Kevin's still in the chat. Well, if he's not, then I'm gonna try to pull him up on Facebook quick and show off his armor. Kevin Blay Alistair should pull him up pretty quick. Yeah, his shot in the calendar. 1 second. Let me screen share. Okay. Yeah, this, you guys, like, once you know, you notice it, but this is cardboard. All those little links and his armor. I mean, you can do that out of many materials, but, I mean, look at the way he executed it. He's got the shield. Yeah, cardboard and foam. Look at him. I mean, this shot's amazing. It's beautiful. I think he even took this at a convention. Was this Dragon Con, you said? One of the columns there? I mean, this is kind of the highlight of the kind of execution you can have for a calendar photo if you don't have a crazy expensive budget. You literally really don't. I've even seen people put together closet cosplays. You can be a zombie, you can be a Walking Dead person. If you really want to be in the calendar but don't know what you want to do, you can think of dressed down cosplays, find a good way to execute the photo, and I'd be happy to have you.
Casual cosplay kind of thing.
Like Al from Death Note. I'm trying to think of anything simpler than that. I mean, there's, as long as we can tell who the character is, and you're not just a guy lounging around in a shirt and jeans, and you know.
The Homer cosplay, just get some donuts and some get some donuts and a wife beater and call it a cosplay.
Or even like a Laura Croft. I mean, there's ways to do her without going crazy on your budget. You can put together Laura Croft with Goodwill stuff, and because there's different versions of Laura, at least when I was growing up, like different action figures, so you can be kind of creative with it, and then go to a park and climb a rock and, you know, stand out. Or pick up a treasure-looking thing. Gender bend Laura Croft because it's a male calendar, but still, you know what I mean. Nathan Drake, you can do Nathan Drake. You don't even have to do the bandolier if you're like bandaging an injury or Honestly, I mean, between us three, if people are like, I have this cosplay, but I don't know what kind of photo to take, we will throw ideas at you. If you're just stuck on an idea, because that's happened with me before too. We also have the Men versus Cosplay Insider group. Um, just go there, show us your cosplay, and you might say, "Hey, I have the ability to take a photo. I have no idea what to do," and you'll get at least a dozen people helping you out. So I mean, that's what we're there for. And with the submissions, the way they're looking, you have well until it looks like June to get a new photo taken in and sent in for us. So don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to ask for help. This started out as a fan project, and it's remained a fan project. I don't make any money from this. None of the guys make money from this. This is just a really fun way to showcase the male cosplay community. That's how this project started, and that's the only reason it's really gotten this far. I mean, my husband jokes every year because it's a lot of work. And by the end of sending all the calendars out, I'm like, never again. That was too much. I need to take a nap. And then when the next year comes in, I see people excited, and that gets me excited. So I always, take the time off of work to make sure this can happen again. So that's my little spiel. You guys there?
I am here.
Cool. I scared people off with my rambling. But we're already like an hour in. This is awesome. So yeah, if we don't get questions for a little bit, we can wrap it up, I think.
Are people still watching, or are we just talking to ourselves still?
No, we have a few people.
I don't see any kind of notification on who's watching or anything, so for all I know, I'm just pretending I'm talking to you guys.
I might do another live chat for fun with some of the cosplay dudes when the Kickstarter launches. I might do that just to kind of ramp it up. And thank you, Trinley. Hey, Trinley, because you're like asking questions right now. We're like at your full attention. So totally take advantage if you want. Like, we are here for you. Otherwise, you will have to be stuck listening to me ramble again, and you don't want that.
What plans did you have for the Kickstarter video? I think we were going to try to do it at the Deviant tier. What plans were you thinking about doing?
Ooh, that's right. I need a. Should we do it similar to last? Maybe we should bring, like, is Ben going to be there, like, to do like a little sexy? He's in his He-Man, or as long as we have like one sexy-ish dude and one guy with a puppy, we can mention in the video about the postcard tiers. I mean, now that those are kind of like what we set for extra goodies for it. I like doing the postcards. They're fun. Especially, we could mention in the Kickstarter, like, here's the bonus tiers. What do you call them? Like, after you fund, the extra levels people can fund to get some extra goodies?
I think
You know what I
there, yeah, there's a,
Extended goal or something?
Yeah, like extended goals. I'm so tired right now from my day job. I'm like trying to remember the word. I always forget.
yeah, there's like a word for it.
Stretch goals.
Stretch goals, yeah.
So I totally accidentally opened some other window and I can't find the chat. So if I accidentally leave, I will be back in a second.
Okay. Oh no. Well, at least we can still see your picture of Jack and the Power Ranger girl when you talk.
Oh, good. Like I totally, I don't know how to get back to the chat. Like I clicked something and it opened up like main Google Plus page.
Because you're still in here. That's weird. Yeah, mine minimizes sometimes, but I'm able to get it back up. Uh-oh. Google Hangouts is weird. We're still figuring this out for the audience. Oh, Trinley.
I hear you.
Oh, you there? Sweet.
I got it.
Yeah, you can ask general cosplay photography questions. Yeah, if it's not calendar specific, it could still maybe help somebody out or make us think of something we should put.
So I'm thinking, Anabel, that we should have Ben and Trey shirtless carry you in at the beginning of the video to announce the next Kickstarter, like Ben and his Aquaman or He-Man, and Trey. I don't know what Trey has, but something like that.
Or fanning me with palm leaves, or
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. I feel weird. This project's about the guys. I always feel weird being a talking head on a video.
Yeah.
I just want to do a voiceover with like a slideshow.
But that was so much fun last year when we actually did that whole thing where the guys were trying to bribe you. I think we should do something like that again. Not necessarily try to bribe you again, but something along those lines with all the dudes that are going to be at the shoot that day.
A brainstorm. Because we have time at least. Because originally I didn't want to do the recruitment until we launch the Kickstarter, but now I'm like, let me get to the point where we recruit half the guys and then do the Kickstarter. So I'm in that in between phase of doing the calendar. So at least we have buffer time to kind of figure out what to do for the cool video. And thank you again for helping with the video. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun to do.
Yeah. I'm going to close that out. Somebody's called me pretty. Thank you. Though I can talk forever about our pretty guys in the project. This is the Men versus Cosplay chat. And Marie's super cute. Look at your hair. Like, oh my god, I want to dye my hair, but I work for the government.
Oh wait, can you see me? I have it like
No, we can't see you.
I have it hiding.
Are you hiding? We're
I'm
all
hiding.
just going to screen share now. I screen share, but I'm afraid like my Facebook stuff will pop up and people will be like, you freak. As my friends tell inside jokes. Do you recommend having more than one flash? I'm assuming she means camera flash and not the cosplayer.
So, more than one flash in a shot. Anyway, I actually am mostly a natural light photographer. When I do use light, if I am using an external flash during the day, I would have only one. And then if I'm doing a studio shot, I have 2 to 3. It really just depends on the effect you want. It's no rule that you have to use flash. The only thing I would recommend is not to use your on-camera flash. That's a bad flash.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm a shady photographer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Never use the built-in flash. And if you are going to use the built-in flash, put something in front of it, like a card or something.
Yeah, diffuser.
Yeah. I do a lot of studio photography. I do everything. So I do a lot of outdoor. I do a lot of studio. If you know how, I would say yeah. I mean, you can use as many flashes as you want. It also depends too on if you're trying to do high key. Like if you're doing like a high key like this shot here, you're gonna have flashes that don't even aim at their subject. They're just aiming at the back. I always use hair lights and key lights, and you know, there's lights to light up the smoke. Like in this shot, there's lights lighting up the smoke. There's lights, a backlight to make that edge light on her. There's a light over here. A lot of times, you know, I took the shot almost 2 years ago, and I could still tell what I did just by looking at the lighting. So if you know what you're doing, then yeah, you can use as many flashes as you want. I mean, I have probably 6 or 7 speed lights, and I have probably 4 or 5 strobes. You can use gels. Like this one has a blue gel back here just to give her hair a little bit of separation from the background.
I like gels. Gels are good.
I love it when you use gels.
But sometimes you can go overboard with the gels. I have some good examples, but I don't. I mean, it's really easy to go overboard with the gels, and if you use too many gels, it can kind of.
I mean, sometimes that's good, like if they have a lightsaber to really pop out that color. It really, yeah, but often you don't need that much gel.
Yeah, I think I used some gels on this one to make him. This is all photoshopped. Obviously, there was no smoke in this picture, and I used just a little bit of gels just to. I knew I wanted him to have a red and a purple one, so I used a red and a purple gel to light him up like that. But if you know how to use them and you know what you're doing, then yeah, you can definitely, you can never have too many or too little. Sometimes though, what I'll find is I'll shoot a lot of times with flash, and then I'll take them off and I'll just shoot some natural light stuff, and I'll think, man, I should have shot all these in natural light. But I already used this as an example, but this is one where it's it's natural light, and I took out a beauty dish with me. I'm not afraid to bring modifiers out with me, so I'll bring beauty dishes and soft boxes and strip lights, and barn doors. I have a ton of stuff, so I'm not afraid to haul that all around with me. and get the shots. But again, you can look at a lot of other photographers, and all they do is natural light. Like this is all natural, and I just added some Photoshop in it. Uh, Depending on your lighting and depending on your setting and what you know you're going to do, like this right here, this is probably just one light, just because you want the background to be really dark, so you don't want to put a lot of light back there. You have to know a lot of stuff about how big the light is. You know, the smaller the modifier and the closer you are, the harsher the light. The larger the modifier and the farther you are, the softer the light, and stuff like that. So if you know start watching tutorials and stuff on YouTube, that would be where I would start.
YouTube,
Yep, YouTube.
light diagram websites, that really helps. If you don't know what in the world, like where to put it or anything, that can help out a lot.
And you can go to workshops too. Like here in Arizona, we actually have a couple good photographers. Like Joe Grimes, he's one of the guys that I follow really closely, and he actually lives in Arizona. And I've been to a couple of his workshops. I've been to, I'm in a couple photo clubs. I'm in like a couple like F Stoppers group and the local groups here, and a lot of times you can find some good workshops and stuff that you can go to. I tend not to do that too much just because a lot of times they do cost a lot of money, and a lot of times they're networking events for photographers, and I'd rather network with models than photographers. So I don't know. It's the kind of me.
I learned a lot just by watching you work. I mean, joining your photo shoots, and it's always fun to volunteer for other people's photo shoots and kind of learn their techniques from behind the scenes and kind of pick those things up in person.
Yeah, like as a cosplayer myself, I've been doing a lot of shoots lately, like things being shot of me, and I've learned a lot just from seeing how other people work. So, like I said, there's never a right or wrong. Everyone works completely in a completely different way. It's really interesting to see all the different things that people do and their process, and if some people spend more time taking the shot than post-processing, and some people spend way more time post-processing. It just, it depends, but really cool to see from a different perspective.
Did anybody else have any questions before we start to wrap up the chat for tonight? Oh, I wanted to mention something else with my two photographers here. What's the most creative you guys have done to scout or get locations for photo shoots? Because sometimes it's like better not to ask permission. Like when we did ASU, we knew if we contacted the college, there'd be all this red tape, so we just snuck in and did it really quick, and some of the locations, no problem, in like 2 hours. And they assume it's a student project. But do you guys have any other like tips and tricks for people who are like, I want to find a location, but I don't know how to go about doing it?
Sometimes I just take a drive around and just kind of explore. Like if you see sometimes when you're driving somewhere and you look at it, like you see out your window like an area, like, ooh, that would be a cool shoot area. So then you just drive there and take a look, and just drive where you've never driven before. That's how I found a lot of stuff on it.
There used to be a website called Tog Spots, and it's kind of closed down now, it seems like. I used to go there and look for spots. That's where I found this one, this Grove location. I was looking at Tog Spots. This one was exactly like Marie said. I just drove by and I saw this this junkyard, and it looked cool. And one of the things I suggest though is you can go ask, but I almost never call ahead, because usually if you call ahead, they're going to say, oh, I need to find somebody who's going to answer that. And they're going to say, oh, I need to find somebody who's going to answer that. And it just kind of gets stuck in limbo. If you just show up on site and be like, hey, I'm going to take some photos, are you guys okay with that? The guys on site are going to be like, sure, I don't care. You're already there. You're meeting them face to face. They know you're not some creeper on the phone. But I mean, the hardest part, honestly enough, what's the most annoying to me is the hardest place to shoot ends up being like the national parks, and you think that would be a prime location to shoot. But if you go shoot at the national parks, I've been questioned. I've known other photographers that have been kicked out of national parks. Um, a lot of times you're gonna have security come and talk to you. Uh, I get forest rangers that message me and talk to me all the time, or not message me. They come up and talk to me all the time, and I'll just tell them it's a personal project. If they think there's any commercial value in what you're doing, then more than likely they're going to try to kick you out.
Yeah, in my experience, as soon as you bring out a flash or a tripod, they come after you. For some reason, they're just like immediately like, oh no, like you cannot have professional equipment. And sometimes it could just be a light stand and with like not even like a good piece of equipment on it, and they're already like, no, you can't have that. You can't have any professional equipment out, but you can take photos. You just can't have a flash. But not for any reason around the building. Like you can't like it's not good to have it around there. You just literally like they do not want you to have that piece of equipment being used. They're real. It just depends on the place. It's either they don't care or they're really weird, or they sort of care and give you some rules about it.
I mean, we've used like it's a student project a couple times, and sometimes that does work out. People go, oh, they're just doing something dumb for their school. Let's just let them take their 10 minutes to take a shot or something. Yeah, especially with like the government stuff, unless you know somebody on the in. Like I have a few locations, and if you ask like the bosses or their PR department, they're gonna be like, no. But if you ask like the Parks and Recs guys, they're gonna be like, yeah, bring out your costumes. So it really depends on kind of who you talk to sometimes. If you're looking for some kind of sort of permission to do it.
And here's a great story, actually. So at WonderCon, it's not really a location thing, sort of, but it's funny. We were taking shots. We had a photographer taking our pictures of me as Gwenum and Jake as Spider-Man, and there was a police car. And we were like, we really want a shot on the police car. And there's no way you could just like get on it. We asked the police dude in it, and he totally just let us shoot on the car. Like he let us sit on the car and take photos. So sometimes like if you aren't sure, sometimes they'll just ask and they might say yes. I mean, who would have thought that they would have let you sit on their government-owned vehicle and take shots?
Yeah, I did that with a police helicopter. There was a police helicopter one time at a event, and I said, "Hey, can we climb on your police helicopter and take pictures of Commissioner Gordon and Batman?" And they were like, "Sure." So
That's a good idea. Like sometimes even like city events will have vehicles on display in a nice area. You never know if you're in a costume that kind of fits the event, you might be able to sneak in and get a photo with them if the presenters are cool with it. I remember when we were doing the Ryu and Akuma Street Fighter shoot with Jessica Hately, she literally drove around, scattered out a few graffiti walls, but she also found this little shady like a tire place, and they had like a little pit bull chained up, and it was like these gruff-looking Mexican dudes, like out of a movie. And she just walked up, and the guys jumped out of the car, and we were like, "We love the color of your building." It was like it was yellow, and it popped out, and they had all the scenery like you would see in a Street Fighter game. And we just said, "Could we take some photos?" And the guys not only let us, but they were like willing to move stuff around for these total strangers who showed up and wanted photos. Like they were really cool with it. So thankfully, like 90% of the time, people are excited and want to help because you kind of break up their day and there's nothing else for them to do. Other times, you get people going, I don't want to get fired. So then that's when you hit the roadblock of people not really being sure, so they just say no to be safe. Other times, people don't care. They're like, I'm not paid enough to care. You're just taking a quick photo. Go ahead and come in, and I'll have a fun story to tell on Facebook later.
Sometimes people are jerks.
Yeah, I've had people be like not happy. Like as in LA, I guess a lot of people go around taking photos everywhere, and there's a Disney concert hall, and we went to take photos, and one of the people working there, this woman, she immediately just like got angry seeing us. Like she assumed that we were gonna climb the walls and like get all up in the plants, and we were just like, it was just really, she was just not happy. But some people are super thrilled to have like comic book characters walking around, and they'll let you break rules. So
yeah, some people just have to play the fun police.
There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason. Like we did last year, we did the men versus cosplay shoot at the Deuce, which was in the warehouse district, and it seems like a super cool like hipster spot. They serve alcohol in little mason jars, and it just seems like this really cool spot. And I had called them beforehand, and I had, like left them all these voicemails trying to get actual permission to shoot there. And the lady's like, "Well, you can't shoot here." And I was like, "Well, what if we come in and just order some drinks and just have that as our meetup spot, and we can shoot around that area?" And she was like, "Okay, that's fine. You can do that." So we get there, and the manager comes out. And he's this big buff dude, and he comes out. And he's like, "You guys got to get out of here. You guys can't be here." And I'm like, "Well, I already talked to so and so, and she said okay." And he's like, "Oh, well, if so and so said okay, then that's okay." And he let us go, and didn't say anything. But I've heard of other cosplayers getting kicked out of there. And then the one I have on screen right now, I don't know if you can see my screen or not, but this was Ben and Trey actually. We went to they got hired to uh, do a birthday party for this 40-year-old. He was turning 40, and they were having his birthday at a hotel. So they hired Ben and Trey to come out as Star Wars, Stormtrooper and Darth Vader for his 40-year-old birthday. And we're like, hey, let's walk around and get some photos. That was the week of the Gishwis. How do you pronounce that, Anabel? Gishwis?
Oh, Gishwas, yeah.
Gishwis.
And I was about to mention the Spaghetti Factory. Was it the Spaghetti Factory? Where did the other one with me and Ellie?
Oh yeah. They were super cool too. But this was at a 5-star resort in
Yeah, that's a
Scottsdale.
fancy place. I'm like, I can't afford that sushi.
Right. And everybody there was super nice, and they were like, "This is so cool. Come back here and take a photo." Like this guy was like, I want you all your pictures to be on my Instagram. So send me your link." And there's like people were like handing us menus, and like they let Ben put an apron on, and like I said, this was like a 5-star restaurant, resort, and they were like, here, here's a pitcher of water. You guys want a free soda? It's just it makes no rhyme or reason why some people are just total jerks and other people are and just excited about it. Yeah, Spaghetti Factory too. They were really cool with us. We took what alligator heads in there, and we did
We
the
like took up one of their like little. Well, I'm glad I chose that table because nobody was immediately around us, and it looks like the servers were too busy to care. They're like, as long as you don't f anything up in here and pay for your meals. And that was a cool location, like seeing some of the stuff on the inside. Sometimes I talk to cosplayers who do like cosplay meetup dinners, and I know the steampunk people use the Spaghetti Factory for their meetup. So I think that might be why they were so cool, that they're kind of used to seeing people doing weird stuff in there. I don't
like
know.
like use the alligator head, make a little body out of the dough. I don't know if they're used to that weirdness. It's kind of a little weird.
I don't know. I guess you'd be surprised at some places what they allow, and I don't know the different groups that come into town. I mean, we're cooler than like the dentist convention or whatever else goes on in Phoenix, or like some of the flash mob groups will just invade places in wedding dresses, or as the Santarchy when they invade an area as a bunch of Santas. So we're not that crazy. I think we're pretty tame in comparison to like flash mobs.
That's true.
Well, it's pushing 8 o'clock. How are you guys doing? Are you feeling like wrapping up soon?
Gotta
Sure.
grab dinner.
I'm also feeling hungry. How are you doing, Sam? Do you want to wrap up?
I put you guys on mute and I ate already, so
Yeah, I see we have a few viewers. So if anybody has like a trailing question, we'll give it like 5 more minutes, and then stop broadcasting, and so we can get back to work, and I can get back to getting ready for Friday. Anybody? As we look at Sam's photos of the restaurant. It's like this dead silence. I would suck on radio because I don't know how to fill in dead silence.
Music.
Music?
you can have all those sound effect buttons so you can make like pops and whistles and stuff like that.
Do I have sound effect buttons?
No, I'm talking about on a radio. That's how they fill their time up with all the all the sound effects and stuff.
No, wait. We have Sound Nation is an. Oh, it looks like there's sound effect button apps. Oh, this next chat is going to be awesome. There's,
Yeah.
oh, you can install something to do drawing effects. I'm going to install that. Let me just install apps. I'll wait for people to ask final questions. Let me open up Marie's screen and see what I can do to her.
Oh god.
Can I add a hat?
Oh, you added a hat to yourself.
Oh, to myself? Oh no, I was trying to add it to
Yep.
you.
I hand it to you.
That's what I get for trying to be funny.
Oh,
There's a
that's...
pirate hat on you now. I don't know how I did that.
Oh gosh. It's
What am I
terrible.
doing? This is terrible. I will never use this again. Are you clicking too?
It's a quality
Yeah,
improvement.
pretty bad.
Look, it's moving with my
It's
head. I
it's
love
funny every time
this.
it switches back to you, you have a different hat on.
Oh, I'm clicking different ones. I like my little devil horns. Okay, we're gonna have to use these more often. Got my kitty cat. What have I done?
You made a
How'd
sound
you do
effect.
that?
It was in
There
there.
you
You just keep hitting next and there's more sound.
Awesome.
go. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have to do another live chat.
I
Yeah,
don't know how
this,
to remove the hat, so it's staying.
this one was a rehearsal.
Yeah, this was our
The one
practice.
with,
We still did pretty good for not knowing what was going on with the Google Hangouts.
yeah, and all my Adobe products deciding to crash on me.
It's okay, nobody's asking questions, so we can kind of like fart around for like 2 more minutes. Effects. Eyewear, facial hair, props. Oh, there's the sounds. I
Oh,
like
okay.
this. When there's silence, I'm going to use that.
There needs to be a rim shot for my bad jokes.
There's a studio laugh for you, Sam.
There we go. Perfect.
I'm so sorry that I found this.
There you go. That was perfect. Oh, how'd you go to Rome?
Marie said at the top of it, you can keep hitting right, and it'll put you in. This is so silly, but it'll put you on a backdrop. Adjust background.
Wow. You should do that one. It looks
Yeah.
like you're stuck in Tetris. There you go. They should do the whole next session like that, stuck in Tetris.
Oh, this one blurs the background. See, this is our example of field of depth.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both again for helping me out with this chat. I just didn't want to get all these photography questions and be like, what the hell do I say to them while I Google for the answer?
No problem. Now, if people start complaining about 300 DPI and stuff like that, you can just say, well, we had a live chat. If you missed it, that was your fault.
Yeah. Well, we could even do like the mini guide, like how you showed how to check in Photoshop and how to check just on people's computers. So they have no excuse. I just feel bad. Some people went out of their way to take new photo shoots, and then they had on their camera settings for like 150 DPI, and they spent like 2 hours in the middle of nowhere, and I just felt bad that I couldn't use any of their photos.
And the cool thing with Photoshop now too is I can't, like I said, I was trying to show you, but with CC, the scaling actually is really good. Like the newest version, like I can find like a tiny image and scale it up, and you almost can't tell. So they could, I don't know, 150 to 300 is a pretty big stretch, but like anything like 200 to somewhere around that range, they could scale it up to 300, and they probably wouldn't lose a lot. Especially if they actually turn the screen resolution down and the DPI up a little bit, then because the screen resolution and DPI are different. What you see on the screen and what the printer sees are two different numbers. So They probably wouldn't lose too much by scaling it up like that. If they're using Photoshop CC, some of the old Photoshop, I don't think I would try that on. With CC, they could actually get away with it with a lot.
I mean, I don't have CC, so if I see any photos that are like almost there, but the DPI is a little low, I might send them to you for your feedback. Raven's busy with a lot of commissions on her new baby. I might not be able to use her as much, but I can show you as well to see what you think on a few of them. Because sometimes, I mean, I have more time this year, and if there's photos that are kind of skirting the boundary with DPI, I mean, I can try to make some exceptions, but for right now, I'm going to be like 300. And then as the rush tapers down, then I can revisit some of them that don't completely qualify and see what I can do.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, I think we're good. You guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Have a good night, you all. Thank you again for joining us on our Men vs. Cosplay live chat. I don't know if this is recorded. If it is, I'll see if there's a way we can trim it up because we were kind of figuring things out in the beginning. But have an awesome night, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let me know how many spots in the calendar to hold for you both.
Sounds good.
Take care.